All right, so let me break down how this Gassho meditation is going to work for those of you that have not been to this one before. If you have, then that's great. You can kind of just sit and relax. So Gassho just means hands together, or hands resting, thumb gently on your heart space. This is a great meditation to bring two hemispheres together, the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine, helping bring your awareness and your energy towards the center of your being. And so when we do this, we actually pull all of our energetic cords, all the energy we may have left in, any situation, space, with people. We pull all of that back to us. And so we can reclaim our power in that way, bring more clarity and light to our knowingness. And so Gasho is pretty much a real good practice to learn how to be with ourself. A lot of times we hear connecting with your highest self, embodying your highest self, but we can't be our highest self if we don't know how to be with ourself, the version of us that's right now. Because our highest self is always accepting any type of version that we are. And so the more that we allow and accept the person and being we are now, the more we're actually embodying that higher aspect of us. Does that make sense? And so just something to think about as we create this space for ourselves to be with ourselves, and also to think about your intention with that as well. So I'll kind of guide you in the beginning for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'll transition into music. That way, you guys can be in your own space, be in your own energy. You're not required to have your video or audio on the whole time so that you can feel super comfortable, feel super safe. And then at the end, we can kind of share how your experience was. I also have some oracle cards again, so we can kind of go over what message or energy wants to come through for the collective, for those watching on YouTube as well, because this is going to be on the replay. Okay. So before we get started, feel free to get your space situated. If you want to dim your lights, light some candles. If you want to bring a crystal to use, feel free to do that. And so we can get started. I've been really feeling called to use selenite. Selenite has just been my go-to this past week. It's very purifying, very clearing. And it's just a very light energy, as you can see. But I like using this one, so I'm going to use a selenite piece. Right. Oh, I see the chat. Joanne says, I've been feeling more anxious this week. Yeah, I'm hoping after today we can kind of settle that anxiety, hopefully bring you back to more of a grounded state. And we'll kind of see. Ooh, I just got chills. And so we'll kind of see how things go. Okay. So now that everyone is settled, if you want to turn off your video so you feel super comfortable, feel free to do so. I'm going to share my screen so I can also share audio after. Right. So what we can do is we can bring our hands and let's just rub our hands together just to activate our hand chakras. And as we do this, really feel the sensations of your hands, the texture of your skin. You can even do this too, just to feel and activate your hand chakras. And so what we're going to do to prep our vessel first is do some dry bathing. So I like to do some dry bathing. So we could start from the shoulder down to your wrist, flicking it away, shoulder down to your wrist, flicking it away. Do it as many times as you need to, allowing yourself to bring your consciousness to your body, to the physical sensations as you swipe away. We can even do from shoulder down to hips, shoulder down to hips, shoulder down to hips. We can even do our thighs, wiping away any residual energy in our thighs and your hips. I know we tend to hold a lot of energy in our hips. Feel free to do your head, your shoulders, head and shoulders. And if you feel too, you can even shake off any residual energy. Just take it off. Just take off residual energy. So now that we have prepared our vessel, we can gently bring our hands together in Gassho, resting your thumbs gently at your heart space. And I invite you to take a couple of deep grounding breaths, very slow exhale. Deep breath in. Invite you to use this time and reflect on your intention for this meditation, whether it's to bring more relaxation, to bring more stillness, bring more clarity with any type of situation. Contemplate on that intention as you gently breathe and slowly exhale. Intention in mind, feel it slowly slip and flow down into your heart. Planting the seed in the space, trusting and surrendering to how it will bloom and manifest your reality. I'd like to use this time also to call upon all of our highest level guides and angels that knows that love is the power and truth from which we connect with, calling in all highest aspects of ourselves in this now moment, and in any other higher level guides that you may work with personally of the highest vibrations of love and light. So you continue to breathe gently and slowly. Begin to shift your awareness to the sensations between your palms. They may feel a little bit warm. You may be feeling some tingles or nothing at all. Simply observe and allow the sensations from your hands to anchor in your focus. This gentle pressure. Awareness between your hands. Begin to visualize and imagine bright white light emanating and forming into a ball. This tiny little white light starts to emanate stronger and stronger between your palms, emanating such warmth, such presence. You start to feel this energy expand more and more, enveloping your hands, starting to expand out and envelop your body, continuing to grow further out into your aura. Let's breathe into this just for a moment. Bring yourself to relax even deeper. Pressing your shoulders, your eyebrows, and your stomach, into deeper relaxation. Breathing into the body, breathing into the heart. Feel the warmth and the glow of the orb of light between your hands. This is your life force. This is your divine essence. Allow this divine essence to guide you whichever way it needs to. Continue to gently breathe. Feel free to relax or slowly down to your legs. Bring yourself to just sit in this space for a moment. Feel free to repeat after me in your mind. I am who I am, and that is okay. I'm where I am, and that's how I am. Take a couple of deep breaths, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, slowly bringing your consciousness back to your eyes. And when you are ready, you can turn. If you feel comfortable, sweet. Hazel says, I fell asleep. I know. I almost fell asleep too. But yeah, how was it for you guys? Feel free to unmute if you feel comfortable sharing what your experience is. Definitely would like to know. Or if you want to type it in the chat, that's okay too.
Hello.
Hi.
I have a better awareness now of where my anxiousness is coming from. Um, I last year, for my birthday, I did something major for myself. I decided to change my name. I went through the process of changing my name. This March, I got an email saying that my name change was approved. And so it kind of just like in that moment reading that email just felt like death happened. Death of my old self and like my new self was slowly starting to molt out of like the old
Mhm.
self. And so like now that it has happened, I had to go through all of the, procedures and documents and documentation to get all that stuff changed. So it's like slowly like leaving that exoskeleton. And so it's like in this energy of like there's this new me emerging, but there's this old me that is still hanging on. And not necessarily hanging on, it's like kind of like slowly I'm stepping out of that skeleton. And like me waiting on my new documents is like that little last piece that is like, I'm like, we're almost there, we're almost there. And so I'm just feeling that is what was coming through. It's like, you're almost there, you're almost brand new, all your documents, everything's good to go. You just wait on it and you'll be good. And I'm like, okay, we just need to allow the process to process. But I'm so excited.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. That's so exciting. It's almost like anxious excitement, if anything. That's super powerful. Yeah, thank you for sharing. I definitely felt that untethering from, it's almost too like grieving that version of you that had so many memories and experiences with that name. And so you're like, oh, I'm getting so many chills. It's like, wait, like it's like a fresh start. Literally, it's like a fresh start. So yeah, thank you for sharing. I definitely felt that. Definitely felt. Yeah, how is it for you guys? If you feel comfortable sharing, feel free to unmute or you can type in a chat. All right, so let's transition into Oracle card really quick. I've been using this deck. It's from Denise Jarvie, The Secret Language of Light. It's been very activating for me. Oh, let's see, you can see it. There you go. I really like the artwork with this deck. A lot of codes in this deck. So let's just see what has to come through. This is meant for the whole collective, the whole group, even those watching on the replay. What does this group need to hear in this now moment? What message do they need to receive to help fulfill their highest excitement, to help them fully step into the most authentic and empowered version of themselves moving forward? What is it that you want to tell them? So the card that comes up is Soul Journey. So I like this card. It's definitely reflecting more of a bigger perspective, a bigger picture of where we are at now. We have to remember that this is a journey. This isn't something that is short term. This is long term. This is forever. And so a lot of times we can feel impatient. We can feel rushed. Sometimes we want the results right away, but it's telling us that this is really a story that is unfurling, and it's our story. And all of our stories come together um, pretty much to support each other, to support how our stories play out. And so our journey right now, let me just admit this person. And so what I'm hearing now is our story right now, it's almost like we've closed the book and we're on to book two, or even it could be book four or five. And so we have to remember we have a whole library, a whole encyclopedia of stories within our soul, not just in this life, but in other many versions of our other lives. What I'm hearing too that's coming through is our ancestors. So our ancestors' journey is our journey because time and space, they don't exist in the higher realms. And so what we experience for our ancestors to see through. What I'm feeling too with some of us in this group is that we have guides from our ancestry that are actually just neutrally observing because they are learning too. They didn't have the opportunity to live this specific timeline in this specific era. And so, in a way, they're living it through us. And so, the more that we can step into our highest excitement, overcoming our fears, taking those steps and actions towards the path that may be the hardest to take, but may be the most beneficial in the long run, those are the paths that we're being asked to lean into moving forward. Um, is what I'm hearing too now. It's kind of like Jawan was saying. It's like as we choose that hard path, we're untethering and pulling ourselves from that old version of us on an individual level, but also on a collective level. So we can see with the world
Mm.
all this stuff that's happening. It's because we're all going through this phase of untethering from the old world, untethering from that old timeline. And so it can be very tough. It can be very sticky, is what I want to say, but it's very necessary for us to really step into 5D Earth, which is more about community, co-creation, co-activation. What I'm hearing too is, especially for myself, but for a lot of people, I keep feeling the wolf. If you guys connect with wolf energy, wolves work better in packs rather than alone.
Mm.
So a lot of the lone wolf templates are needing to dissolve to untether from our template so we can step into our pack. We can step into
Mm.
our community, into our tribe. But it can't happen if we're not willing to untether from that old version of us. Does that make sense? Because the old version of us is no longer in resonance with the higher frequency of community. Does that make sense? Because what I'm hearing now is competition, of course, is the opposite of community. Um, and so
Right.
what we're seeing now in the world is a lot of competition because we live in a capitalistic society. This competition, everyone is starting to awaken to the fact that it's not serving nobody except for the ones that are benefiting from the competition. And so a lot of us are like, this doesn't make sense. So now we're here to make it make
I
sense,
was talking about
right?
the
I'm also wanting to draw the bottom card. Ooh, this is super powerful. I'm getting so many chills. Grounding. So I don't know if you guys have been feeling called to connect with Gaia, to connect with feet on the ground, bare feet on the ground, connecting with the elements, connecting with water, with wind, with the earth, with fire, especially. Sometimes we may be feeling drawn to certain elements. Um, and like how Karen is saying, um, I was just talking to Hazel about this before the Zoom community versus competition. Exactly. And so when we talk about community, it's also being in commune with nature, right? Because we're not separate from nature. We are nature. Nature is part of us. We are birthed from the earth. We're birthed from nature. And so when we connect with the elements, we're actually connecting with other aspects of ourselves. That is fire, that is earth, that is water and air. And so sometimes, let's say I'm hearing two is our zodiac sign. Like for me, I'm a Taurus, I'm a classic earth sign, but sometimes I'm wanting to connect with fire. And so we have other aspects and elements of ourselves that complete us because we're not just earth, we're all four elements. I'm sorry to sound all Avatar less Airbender, but that's literally what's coming through because this division of elements, the division of astrology is just an illusion. At the end of the day, we are all the signs because we have lived many lifetimes that have embodied all the signs. And so when we think of it that way, you can start to recognize, wait, I'm not limited to just being a stubborn Taurus, right? I can be an airy Aquarius, or I can be an emotional and water and flowy Cancer, right? And so as we start to embody more of our higher self, start to allow more of our authentic version, start to think about what does that actually mean? What type of versions of myself am I not fully accepting? Am I not fully accepting the fiery version of me because I thought I'm an earth sign? Right? That's like, wait, what if I'm being called to be more passionate, more more active, taking action. Because maybe as an earth sign, I'm too still. I'm too comfortable with where I'm at. And so we have to think about how can I step out of this paradigm that I thought I learned to step into something that's more freeing, more liberating. And so we have to think about these beliefs that are holding us back. Because even in spirituality, stuff like astrology, these are tools, but they can also be limiting how we express ourselves, how we can move forward in our life, and how we can grow. Does that make sense? I'm feeling also another card wants to come through just to summarize pretty much everything that's coming through. What I'm feeling too is also a lot of sacral work. So if you guys have been working with a lot of sacral energy, like stomach energy, orange colors, there's a lot of energy of shame that's needing to be transmuted. Shame of where I'm at right now. I don't like where I'm at right now. I don't like who I am right now. I don't like how I'm feeling right now. That's shame. Those types of feelings and emotions is coming through. So if you've been feeling a lot of that in the past couple of weeks, it's because it's needing to purge and release. So you can embody more of the positive thoughts, affirmations of, I love who I am right now. I love how I express myself right now. I love just how things are going right now. And so that's kind of what we're transitioning into.
I was
So let's
literally
see.
at a um like a park, like a little a park that had like swings and like, the swing sets and like the slides and stuff like that with my husband a couple days ago. And when I was there, I was on the swing and I could not stop laughing. Like I was having such a good time. I could feel it in my sacral chakra. I was on the monkey bars, just like having so much fun, laughing my butt off. I was just like, this is so great. I was like, my little child is like so happy right now. It was so great.
Yes, that is literally the energy of the sacral. It's that soft, vulnerable, innocent inner child that's just wanting to express itself regardless of what it is, right? And so I love that how you had that experience. And so the third card that came through is expansion. So I love this card because what we see here is actually sacred geometry. And when we think of expansion, we think of I'm almost seeing this image of we're turning the dial of our lamp to shine brighter. And so, what we're really expanding is our energy, our aura. Because a lot of times we have the intention of, oh, I want to manifest my soul. I want to attract my partner, my soulmate. I want to attract the perfect job. But we can't do that if our energy is constricted, if it's limited by our mind, by what we believe, right? And so expansion is really allowing yourself to break free from the programs of what we used to believe. And so we have to really start questioning, how is this liberating me or how is this limiting me? It could be with a relationship. How is this friendship limiting me? How is this friendship liberating me? How is this workplace expanding me? How is this allowing me to be me? Right? So we can ask these questions about any aspect of our life. What I'm feeling too is even family, because sometimes, unfortunately, some family members don't resonate with where we're at, and that's fine. We can hold compassion, but we can also recognize we don't need to be there if we're not in resonance, right? We don't need to show up for family if they're not showing up for us. We don't need to give energy that's not being returned back. And so this is all a game of energy. And so even asking, is being with my family limiting me or is being with my family expanding me, right? We can kind of go both ways. Karen says, I was just, let's see. Hazel says, I saw blue diamond during meditation recently. I don't know if that's sacred geometry. Absolutely. Any type of shape is sacred geometry. What I'm feeling too is sometimes we forget that lines is technically sacred geometry. So when we think of 111, that's actually sacred geometry in numerical form. So when we see numbers, angel numbers, it's actually sacred geometry. It holds the essence and energy of sacred geometry. And so that's why when we see numbers like 333, 444, what we're really tuning into is the synchronicity of sacred geometry at work. Because sometimes you see, oh, like this is a sign. It's like, no, this is a sign of the higher realms starting to come through to your awareness. You're starting to see and see through the veil of the other side. And so when we see the synchronicities, it's like, ooh, my awareness is expanding. What I'm perceiving is expanding because it's starting to become magical. It's starting to become in flow with the divine life force of everything around me. And then you start to realize, damn, I really am co-creating with the environment that's around me, and they're co-creating with me. Yes. So this is the three cards: grounding, soul journey, and expansion. What I'm also feeling called just to share before I close. I've been feeling this guidance for the past couple of weeks, but I feel like it's going to help a lot of people in the community, and just I'm hoping to expand is in addition to Gassho meditations, I'm also going to be offering free self Reiki circles. So if you are Reiki attuned, um, my plan is to host self Reiki circles. And the idea is to bring our power back, to start to heal ourselves and recognize we are more powerful together when we heal ourselves. Sometimes we want to go to other healers to help heal us, but then when we come together and recognize, wait, we can do it just on our own, but with other people, it's even more powerful. They show me, my guides show me, it's almost like we're in a circle around the earth and our fields amplify. And so it's almost like us doing healing by ourselves. It's maybe like 10%, but even if it's two, three, or four people, it's like magnified like times 10. And so we have to remember energy, it's such tricky game because what we see physically, oh, there's only two people with me. But when you think of it energetically, there's two souls, fractals of light, who hold so many thousands of lifetimes of experience. So really, it's not just us four. There's actually thousands of us right now in this moment that are working through us and with us. And so that's what I've been guided to do more is self Reiki circles. How does that sound for you guys? I know some of you do. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, Hazel says, yeah, see, girl, you already know your intuition is already on point. That's what I'm saying. Y'all already know. Um, let me just go ahead and end this. I just want to say thank you guys, though, again, for co-creating this space with me. It's been a work in progress. I definitely want to continue this for the rest of the year just to maintain a practice to be with ourselves. And as we continue to do this, you'll start to notice Gassho becomes easier. I know when we first start doing Gassho, it can be a little bit tiring or putting strain on your arms, but hopefully it will start to become almost natural to just do this. So if you guys have any questions, though, feel free to reach out to me. If you have any comments or would like to see other things created with this group or the community, let me know. I'm definitely open to collaborating and just co-activating with everybody. Okay. Okay, thank you guys. Oh, drink a lot of water because we had a lot of energy work today, a lot of fluids this week. And don't forget to get a lot of rest because there's a lot of energy that just was flowing through us. Okay. All right. Bye, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night. Bye, bye, bye.